everybody, Kim here with LifeandFinances.com. Thanks so much for coming by. Today I want to talk to you about how to successfully handle a job interview. I have been interviewing people throughout my entire career, so I have done hundreds of interviews, and as of late I have found a commonality, so to speak, with regard to some of the interviews that I have been performing. And I wanted to share with you what not to do and what to do to successfully handle a job interview. First of all, if you're doing a job interview through Skype or FaceTime, in other words, you're at a different location and you're doing a video job interview, dress professionally just like you would if you were to walk in person to do the job interview. Sometimes I have noticed, actually many times I have noticed, people doing a job interview out of their house through Skype, and they literally look like they just crawled out of bed. Their hair's a mess. One of the interviews actually had the unmade bed in the background. Folks, this is a professional job interview. Set the camera up so that you have a good background in the background. Don't set it up so the camera's facing the window and you have sun glaring in the window and your face is washed out. So you want to have it so the sun is to your face, the sun is to the camera's back, not to the lens, and you want to dress professionally, dress comparable to the type of interview that you're having. Just as a side note, I am in the truck today. I'm on the way to a client, so I thought I would utilize my time as best as possible and record this for you. So I apologize for the bounciness. But make sure that you're dressed professionally. Chances are it's a professional interview if it's going on through Skype or FaceTime. And make sure that you have a suit on, you're shaven, you have your makeup on. If you're a female, your hair is done, and that you've got a professional background. Even if it's just a blank wall, don't have your unmade bed in the background. Another thing, make sure it's a quiet environment. Get in a room and close the door. If you've got dogs barking or kids screaming at your house, let them know how serious this is, that you're in a job interview. This is professional. Mommy or daddy, or if it's your brothers or sisters that are screaming, it's professional. They need to be quiet. Either get them out of the house, you get in a quiet room where they can't be heard on camera, or if need be, go somewhere else. I actually had one person do an interview and they sat in their car. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. It was quiet, he was professional, he was dressed well. So be creative, get somewhere where it's very quiet and you can have that job interview uninterrupted. Now, another thing, and this is primarily to those people who are interviewing internally. If you have an internal job interview, don't make any assumptions, regardless if it's internal or external, but specifically if it's internal, do not make any assumptions whatsoever. Nothing is guaranteed. Recently, there was an individual who had been at this one company for 20 years. And the other people on the panel knew him for 20 years. And he walked into that job interview with a sense of entitlement. Like he's been there 20 years. The interview was just a formality. He was going to get the job no matter. Well, here's the deal. He didn't prepare for the interview. I'm not even sure if he read the job description. There was a line in the job description that talked about a required certification. He was asked in the interview about the certification, and he literally gave us a look like a deer in a headlight. He hadn't researched what the certification was, and he actually made the comment, Well, I don't know, at my age, studying for an exam, I don't know. But yeah, I guess if I have to get it, I guess I'll get it. That's not how you want to really impress at a job interview. So, prepare for the interview. If there's a certification involved, research what that certification is. If there's a certification beyond that certification, research that and come out of the gate and say, absolutely, I would get certification XYZ. And I also noticed there's a part B to that certification, and I would certainly be willing to get that as well in my second year. So be positive, but come out of the gate like you are wanting that job and you're going to go above and beyond. Remember, you have to stand out against everybody else who's interviewing for the job. Another quick tip, when you walk into the interview, now studies have proven, and I've heard several different studies have proven that the interviewees, the people that are the interviewers, the ones that are doing the interviewing, will sum up the interviewee in 3 to 5 minutes, and I've seen other studies where it's actually 7 to 10 minutes. So you don't have a lot of time to make that first impression. When you walk in, if the interviewers are already there, which the quick tip before I get into my thought here, make sure you're ahead of schedule for the interview. If the interview is at 11 o'clock, you need to be there at 10:45. The key is to be in the interviewing room, if at all possible, before the people that are going to interview you. Show up early. That is an indication of how you're going to be at the job. If you show up to an interview late, that is like a kiss of death right there. So be early. So with regard to being early, if you're in the interview room already and the interviewers start to walk in, stand up. Don't keep sitting in the chair. Stand up. Look each and every one of them in the eye and shake their hand. Also, make sure you have printed up on bonded paper with a watermark. It's not that expensive. You can pick it up at any office store, office supply store. A copy of your resume. Don't assume your interviewers are bringing the resume with them. Also, if they are bringing the resume with them, and the chances are they are, it's just on copy paper. You can stand out by printing your resume on bonded, watermarked paper and hand each interviewer a copy. If they tell you you're going to be on a panel interview with 3 people, don't just bring 3, bring 5, because there might be more people that show up to that panel interview. You don't want to be short on your resumes. I would also recommend that you don't use white bonded paper. If you can get an off-white or an almond, do that, because now you've stood out above everybody else. Now, I touched a little bit on what to wear for the interview with regard to being professional. You definitely need to be professional. By professional, I mean chances are you need to wear a suit and a tie if you're a man, with a blazer or suit jacket. If you're a woman, you need to dress professionally. And I don't mean to be blunt here, but professional does not mean slut. Professional means you're covered. Your dress or your pantsuit is not looking like you're going to go to a cocktail party or that you just got back from a cocktail party. Professional. If you don't know how to dress professional, go to a older person in your family, your grandma, she'll let you know. And if you don't have somebody like that, go to, and I'm not pitching any store here, this isn't sponsored at all, but go to a Macy's or a Dillard's, get into the women's department or the ladies department and ask them, tell them you're going for a professional interview and you need something professional and you'd like their help. A good idea with regard to colors, you want them to be subdued. You don't want to walk in bright orange, bright red. I highly would recommend a darker blue. Darker blue shows trust, For some reason, I don't get it, but I've done some research. So I would recommend dark blue or that blue range. Anyway, those are just some ideas, some tips on how to go in, be successful at a job interview. Again, I apologize for the bouncing. I am driving to a client, so I'm being safe, don't worry. But I wanted to share those tips with you today. I hope they'll be helpful for you. I will go ahead and actually even post a blog about this over on LifeandFinances.com, so you can read it later on if you'd like. But in the meantime, that's my recommendations. I may have a part 2 to this too, once I go back and edit this a little bit, see if I left anything out. So I hope you're successful. I hope that helped. Good luck on the job interview. Smile, walk in, be confident, shake a hand, and good luck to you. Bye-bye for now. I'm Kim, and this is LifeandFinances.com. Thanks.